Hello everyone, here we have starcitizen on Reddit. Top posting right now with 305 upvotes is starcitizen is actually intolerable to play at this point. Let's take a look. By bits, PvE combat missions were 150k ending with a Polaris that you need pay to win power to kill. Armor locking out any combat pathway for smaller ships, forcing larger ships or multi-crew for mission payouts that are frankly pathetic. Yeah, as far as I know, you have to split those 150k. I'm so amazed that CRG still hasn't figured out how to promote multi-crew. There's a good old way to do this, and most games are doing this. Give players who are grouping up a bigger reward. But instead, you have now to split 150k between the number of players who are participating. Yeah, not a good idea. Ships randomly exploding in hangars. Ships' internal storage being wiped when you store them. Inventory in general vanishing while the inventory system is still tier junk. Yeah, I mentioned this many times. starcitizen's user interface, inventory and item interaction system are one of the worst I've ever seen in any game. It is so bad this must be deliberately. I have trouble to understand that someone can be so bad at his job. Mission markers not loading. Quantum travel is also still tier junk. Yeah, quite often you don't get a solution to your target. Instead, you have to fly away a little bit and then try again. And this after several revisions. Salvage basically abandoned as a game loop at this point. I'm not sure why, I haven't salvaged for a while. I guess payouts are now very low. Latest patch wiping most if not everyone's materials. Mining bags still bugging out on occasion. Nerfing all ship weapons into the ground and saying, we are trying to put everything in the same place to see what you will use next, only to have some size 4 weapons so borked it basically one-taps small fighters and can nuke practically everything. Yeah, ships that can carry size 3 guns max are really in a bad spot now. Ships like FHC Lightning, Saber, etc. Good thing, last year CRG released quite a few small and medium ships Mark II with size 4 guns, for example Hornets Mark II. So I guess we have to wait for Saber and Lightning FHC Mark II. CRG has no idea how to balance things. He didn't mention that freight elevators and ship elevators are still bugged, and many NPCs in missions and bunker missions are wearing nothing at all, not even weapons. Because CRG postponed Ninetales armor to 4.10, but the guys who are making the armor didn't talk to the guys who are doing the missions. As always, there is no communication between different groups at CRG, and no one is coordinating anything ever. This is only the surface of what I and my org mates have had to put up with in the recent months. The amount of workarounds and things to avoid, and so on. You genuinely need to study for hours to get a baseline fun experience, and even then, you end up getting shafted by some incomplete game loop or bug. All of this stacked up against what marketing asked us for ships, and the funneling of those funds into Squadron 42. I genuinely feel scammed. Every ship comes with an advertisement pushing this narrative story on how with this ship you can do X, Y, and Z, only to find out you can hardly do X, while Y and Z straight up fairy tales. It's an alpha, it's not marketed like one. I would like to mention that CRG called starcitizen an alpha when they want to defend this mess, but quite often in all other circumstances they call it a live service game.
Is most pressing to my role and my job is that we're running a live service game in the middle of our development. So we can't do that without the feedback.
We're a live service.
This is a live service MMO game that we're building. So you keep going with a live service game, it's just, lots of things are done.
Live service, you're always running, right?
Comments, the man with 7 S's. The alpha argument only really holds value if you don't treat your game like a live service, which they do. Yeah, I just showed quotes where CRG is calling starcitizen a live service. Sukla12, saying this for like 2 years and only getting downvotes. Well, not this time, now you have 60 upvotes. I'm really surprised, this is right now the top voted comment on our starcitizen. Looks to me like more and more people are waking up. However, as long as you're throwing money at Chris like crazy, nothing will ever improve. For those who say if we stop giving them money then this will crash and burn. Maybe, but if you continue to give Chris money, Chris will continue to spend the money on expensive art, on his private cinema, and on his interactive movies caught in 42, so Chris can cosplay as a movie director again. You can give Chris another billion, another 10 billion, and nothing will change. Link to this is my first pinned comment below. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye. Auf Wiedersehen. And now we have Flickr self-destructing a hoverboard at a caterpillar. Let's see if the caterpillar gets destroyed. Okay, Flickr, it's your show. I hope that Flickr can make it.
Self-destruct activated.
I hope that Flickr can make it. Okay, I can catch up to the caterpillar. Okay, I see a landing gear. Hey, you're still here. You might want to join me on Twitter or on Blue Sky.